It's war! Even though it's not, but it kind of is, just because of how our brains work as human beings. Come on a journey with me. Nope, wait, that's not how videos work. Also, no idea why I ducked down either. Now we know that Paul Heyman is in charge of Raw and that Eric Bischoff is in charge of SmackDown. It's impossible not to start pondering what kind of direction this will take. Will either show get better, or maybe we'll get 6 months down the line and go, oh my gosh, we haven't developed at all. We're in the exact same place, which kind of means we've gone backwards because we just wasted a bunch of time. That is the pessimistic way to look at it, but it could happen. I mean, maybe we get to the point where we're still confused that characters come and go, like Grandpa Simpson going into and then coming out of a burlesque house. On that note, Mojo Rawley, I remember you. But it has made things just a teeny bit more exciting, especially when you start comparing the two, which is what the internet always does. Who has their finger on the wrestling pulse in the modern day? The man who created ECW or the man who took WCW to its biggest height? Now, we really shouldn't do this because it's far too early, but Raw just kicked SmackDown's ass. Why? Here's why. Despite not knowing the full extent of the new WWE structure, there are loads of reports out there right now that not only did Paul Heyman have his fingerprints all over the latest episode of Raw, but that he sat next to Vince McMahon in the gorilla position in perfect harmony. They were harmonious, and that's even more crazy if you know why Paul Heyman left around about 15 years ago. He left because he and Vince McMahon hated each other's guts so much, they just drew a line under it, and Heyman thought he was never going to come back to the wrestling business. And now he's at the big boy table and he's eating dinner with Dad. And I hope it stays this way because I believe that these two would make a really good team. Now, I don't know either of them. That's just what my gut tells me. I think there's a bit of yin and yang there. And when you push the yin and yang together, everything's going to start feeling like noodles. And everybody loves noodles. With Mr. Bischoff, it's a little bit different. He wasn't even in the WWE fold until he got a phone call. And as we know, Paul Heyman has been there for a while, even if only as Brock Lesnar's advocate. So that means his job is far harder. He's currently moving to Stamford to ensure that he gives this all that he has. And I would like to believe that in a few days, in a few weeks, in a few months, we can look at SmackDown Live and realize that it has become a better product as opposed to Raw 1.5 that is just owned by Shane McMahon. Boy, howdy am I tired of Shane McMahon. Because I am an asshole human being, though, I decided to take a final look at both shows this week and see what did what and what didn't do what, and I think Raw came out punching like Mike Tyson circa 1990. Now, it's not perfect, I'm not saying that, don't go crazy in the comments. We still have to obey and bow down to the commercial break, the ad break. Oh, ad break, please give us everything we want. But from that bombastic opening that got everybody talking, right through to the AJ Styles heel turn, which ended the show, there was a lot to feel good about. Finally, we had some teases that we were back on track and that we weren't just going to get stuck in the same old mud where we've been for the last, 6 years really. This is why when we got to Tuesday, there was just a little bit of excitement in the air. Raw still has a long way to go, but surely whatever we did on Monday would transfer across 24 hours. And well, it really didn't. There were some hints of it getting its own identity back, and it was far better than it has been in recent weeks, but there was no picking up of some shib and just chucking it at the wall. And of course, when the shib had hit the wall, it would have exploded with fireworks for around about 5 minutes. That's just what WWE does. And again, I'm not saying that it was crap. I enjoyed the focus on Kevin Owens, and seeing Kofi Kingston flip off Samoa Joe, I'm bleeping it for you again, kind of showed you that WWE aren't going to handle this with kid gloves anymore. But it didn't really have much impact when all was said and done. And it certainly didn't have as much impact as Raw, and you could tell that straight away when SmackDown began with Shane McMahon coming out to just do a long talking promo. And that was always going to get some criticism because Raw had completely changed the template and SmackDown had gone back to the world that WWE's been going back to for honestly 20 or so years, probably longer. And after that, within the first 3 segments, 2 of them were dedicated to talk shows because we had the Kevin Owens show and we had a moment of bliss. I don't even know what talk shows are in WWE anymore. They don't make any sense. And it's the same with Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville and Ember Moon. I think all 3 have done great with the material that they've been given, but unfortunately, that material is emptier than Mike Kanellis' penis. That didn't really work. I just meant that, according to the storyline on Raw, Mike Kanellis wasn't able to get Maria pregnant because he wasn't man enough, so I can only assume he has an empty penis. I don't know what that means. Look, it was a shot in the dark. With that aside, what I'm basically saying is with those three women, they just have the same match each and every week. And by the time I had seen Kevin Owens super kick Dolph Ziggler in the face to set up a new feud, I was kind of interested in what we had done, but I didn't feel like we were on a train to pastures new. And again, with Raw, I really came away with that sensation, even when we are talking about all the craziness with Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, and the Kanellises. For some reason, ever since that ended, I have been thinking about it more and more, mostly because it was so odd, but it's kind of slowly sunk its teeth into me, and I think it's because we actually saw Mike and Maria on TV. I mean, this story didn't really start on Raw. It kind of started on 205 Live, and then 24 hours after Monday night, we were still telling it, but over on 205 Live. I quite like that. I quite like this connection of everything going in, as long as, of course, when we do get to next week's Raw, we ensure there aren't story details that don't pass us by. You've always got to make sure the audience is up to date. And it will probably end with some crazy reveal about who Maria's baby actually is. And while I know that's very Jerry Springer, look, it has put Mike and Maria back on the flagship program, and I care more about them than I have done probably since they even walked into the damn place. I mean, it's far better than them just being ghosts on WWE TV, so even if it fails, at least we tried. And yes, it's nuts, but nuts is better than literally nothing. And granted, this could be the start of the proper separation between Raw and SmackDown, given that we keep hearing these rumors that Raw is meant to be the more storyline-focused show and SmackDown is going to be more sports-based. At least that's what Fox has said that they would like. And admittedly, you can throw a huge spanner into those works because Fox have also apparently said they would like Donald Trump to be on a future episode of SmackDown. If you have the United States president of an episode of that, I don't think it's sports-based. I mean, that is straight up soap opera. All I know is that I am really pumped to see what is going to happen on Raw in around about 5 or 6 days, but I don't feel the same about SmackDown Live. And I know I'm jumping the gun, I'm well ahead of where I should be. We've only just started it, but we've got to think and feel what our reactions are all about the news we heard about 5 days ago. We've been able to process that. We now have some evidence in the canon. Right now, that's how I feel. And yeah, you could say that I'm reacting this way because Raw has been so bad for so long that this kind of impact is always going to hit doubly hard. And that's probably true. Of course, in the long run, we want both shows to be excellent, and sooner or later, we can squeeze AEW into the middle of that as well. My dream for 2019 is to ensure that I have Moorish Mondays, Wicked Wednesdays, and Feel Good Fridays, and then I can get to my weekend and see what pay-per-view should be on my calendar as well. Hell, you may as well give up your life now. Sooner or later, you're just gonna be watching wrestling. I mean, hell, WWE took 3 hours of TV this week and actually made it compelling, interesting watching. They could have added an extra 60 minutes to this, and with the amount of talent they have on their roster, if you had come up with the right stories, you may have been able to get away with 4 hours. Now, let me just preface that by saying never, ever, 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 ever do that, WWE. If you take Raw to 4 hours, I'm going to have to split myself down the middle and become 2 people just so I can get through it. But remember those shows at the end of December 2018 when Baron Corbin was taking everything up and you felt like it lasted, well, basically 37 years because it went on forever? That is quite the turnaround. Mostly with all of this, let's start to take names like Cedric Alexander, Buddy Murphy, Rusev, of course, Andrade Ali, and whoever else you can think of, Apollo Crews, there's another one, and start working them and start integrating them into the product. I know I've ragged on SmackDown Live a little bit during this video, but one of the highlights, one of the best bits was when Shelton Benjamin popped up because I thought, let's finally do something with Shelt. And I know it was a bit weird that he had that crazy stare when someone just asked him a question. It was like, Benjamin, we're just having a conversation here. You need to calm down. But again, what would you rather? Knowing that Shelton Benjamin is on the roster, but he doesn't exist? Or crazy Shelton Benjamin that can't answer questions? That ain't the best option. I'm still picking this. And let's say they do suck. Good. I'm glad they suck, because now at least I can sit there on my couch watching WWE TV and say, well, we gave them a go and they absolutely ballsed it up. Then I don't have to worry. Then I don't have to think, what if? I'll know, I'll have the results. And sometimes being able to cross things off that list is really good. It's like in life, you may go, I really want to be a football player. You go outside, you kick the football, or American football, you throw it, and you're crap at it, like the ball just goes straight into the grass, or you kick it, and it goes left, and you were trying to kick it right, you cross it off the list, and you go and find something else. Maybe next on the list was astronaut. Go fly to the moon. But given that the internet is a reactionary platform, I thought to myself, you know what? I did think Raw kicked SmackDown's ass this week, So why not come on here and make a lovely little video about it, especially because it's a great way to spark the comments into life. Raw, SmackDown, you choose, probably, with some words like bald-headed idiot, you got no hair, you asshole, go throw yourself down a well, smash your face into a wall. I've seen them all before. Let's keep it professional, people, and let's keep it nice. Now, don't forget to leave a comment below and let us know what you think about all of this. And yes, did you prefer Raw or did you prefer SmackDown? You are allowed to have that conversation. Like, share, and subscribe. Head over to WhatCulture.com and read yourself some articles. Follow WhatCulture on Twitter at WhatCulture WWE. Watch more videos here on WhatCulture Wrestling. My name is Simon from WhatCulture. Thank you very much for watching, and I just want to point out I love Raw, I love SmackDown, I love AEW, I love MLW, I love Impact, I love Defiant, I love Progress. I love everything because I am a moron. I get it, it's too positive, Simon, you're an idiot. But it's wrestling, it's entertaining, it's not alive. It's a thing that we do in our spare time and we talk about it. I want everything to be good, and I think Raw and SmackDown are going to be good before the end of 2019, and if I'm wrong, I can make a video called Why WWE Absolutely Flubbed It. So we all win. We can't lose. If they do flub it up, we can just criticize them for it. If they do come up with a great TV show, we can all be happy and cry tears of joy.